Hi, it's Kathy from Ribbon-Vinge. Let's make this ribbon-hinged journal. It's made from index cards, and I'm using my Travel Bug junk journal kit. It's a new one in my Etsy shop, and everything I've used in this little journal is all from that kit. So all the background papers, all the ephemera, everything except for the ribbon and the index cards are from the kit. So here's the second one I've done. I haven't decorated yet, but same idea. So you can see where this one's not as thick yet and it's not inked up yet. This one's a little chunkier because it has all of the items, all the embellishments, all the extras added to it. So that's what we're going to make today. So to save some time, because it does take a little while. This is not a quick project by any means. And once you know how to put it together, this part, the assembly of the base itself, is the most difficult part and the most time-consuming part, and then the rest is just decorating. So it's fabulous. So I'm just using some blank index cards, and I'm using, this set has 1, 2, 3 tabs before it repeats. 1, 2, 3. So I'm using 2 sets of 3. So I have my top, my middle, my bottom. I have 2 sets. So what I've done here to save some time is I finally found, after doing the first couple, I thought of this idea, and this does speed it up a little bit. So basically what I've done is I've taken page 1 and opened it like a book, and then that would be page 2. And then this is page 3, page 4, and then this would be page 5 and 6. So I've laid them out how they would be if it was a book and then they closed. And I've already gone ahead and glued those ribbons to each of those cards just to save some time so that this video isn't an hour long. So you will need 10 strips of ribbon, something very thin, about 1.5 inches. Okay. So in this case, since I've already done this, we only need to glue a couple. So let's close this one, and we'll close this one. So now I want to glue this and this together. And I really found the quickest way was to, now these aren't going to line up so great. We could clip them though. Let's do that, just so they stay together. Maybe gimbal clips out so you can straighten those out below, top and bottom, just because they're raised up a little bit because of the ribbon. That's better. So see, even there I'm a little crooked. Why? Just wants to turn on me. Okay, so if you just line them up, now you could, here's a trick. I just use the line on my mat just to make sure that I'm even. You could also put down a piece of washi tape and use that as your guide. Even if you're not level on your table, at least they're both on the same alignment. So I can see where if I push that down, I can see where my ribbon is. So I just found this to be the quickest way, is just to put the glue on first. Push that down. Just try to keep your hand dry, because otherwise this can be a sticky mess. And then I can see where my ribbon is below. Add some glue. And just add my ribbon after. That's going to take a few minutes to set, so we'll just wait until we do the other one. So what I have done also is I take my sheet of this is cardstock, but if this was just a sheet of regular computer printer paper or copy paper, that's what I've used for these. And I've traced out all of my cards. So keep in mind when you're tracing, you're going to need one for this side And then you're going to need one for this side. So that's upside down. Move another one. There we go. Oops, nope, wrong way. Wrong way, here, there. So you're going to need one for each side. So they are opposites. So if I take the card away, obviously these are opposites. So you can't do two side by side. You need to flip your card over and trace it twice so that you have a front and a back to cover both sides of your cards. So I have, and the first two times I've done this, like the first two little journals I made, both times I did the math wrong, and I don't like to hurt my head, so who cares? Let's do what you think until you think you have the right amount, and then you might have to cut a few after, and that's okay. So I tried to make sure I had some neutral pages, and then there's a few that are more, are there a few? You know what? I think I need to do a couple more. I might need to do a couple more. I think that's why I printed this extra page. Just so that there's some colorful papers in here too. So we'll leave that aside and we'll see when I get to the end if I still need those. I've cut out my some ephemera from the kit ahead of time just to save some time. So there's lots of little passports that you can trim, and then you can fold them in half. So the little passports, and then they would be like little writing spots, little journaling spots. I used there's a lot of large pieces in the kit, but I cut out a lot of the smalls for this is a tiny project. So this kit was not made for this project. It's just a project I thought would look cute with this kit, with the passport size. It's actually meant to be like a full-size journal. So there's vintage photos of travel themed ephemera. There's a lot of vintage passport photos. Yeah, there's a lot of cute pieces in here. Some really great. So they have like the stamp from the passports, which just makes them look authentic. Like, look at this one. We have a signature and a stamp. So this is a really neat kit. And then you'll see me use pieces throughout, like, for example, this right here. It's a cut apart from, well, I've cut it apart from some of the, there's another ephemera page that has just this on it. Not sure where it is right now, if I have one or not, but this is the collage page, but there is an ephemera page with just this, and I've cut this blue thing up 6 ways from Sunday and used it throughout the journal. I've used it like this, I've used it like that, and I've used it like that. So very versatile kit in that you can, another example I wanted to show you was in this postcard, you could cut out just the immigration sign, like stop here. That you could cut that out too, like from the postcard, and use it as ephemera. So it doesn't have to be used just as is. You can split it up a bit. Okay, so that feels dry. So let's just flip you and straighten it out again. Looks good. See, they're a little wonky, but that's okay. I think that's charming. If you want them to be exact, then measure, but I don't like to measure. So I have this last set that I'm going to glue or glue the ribbons on. So this is what ends up happening. You see how this one's taller than this one, and it's going to be a little difficult to line up. So it might not be a bad idea to put something underneath just to get them up to the same height. It's just a little easier to work with. Okay, there's my ribbons. So this is the last. Don't worry about that one being out because it's just these two that I'm gluing at the moment. Where's my ribbon? There. There. And then just lay these down, and it just takes a couple minutes to dry. I'm used to using a much thinner line of glue, but we want something, you don't need to go crazy with the glue. Let's stick to my finger there, because you don't need to go crazy with the glue, because this is going to be held in place once we add these papers to it, right? Okay, so let's let that dry. So just, I probably won't embellish the whole thing while we're in the video, but so I'll show you what I did in advance. So after it's all put together, the next step is to put on your page overlays, your backgrounds, and then you can add your belly bands in your pockets, and then you can collage and embellish. And then at the very end, after all is said and done and you've inked everything, then I add one more piece of ribbon that goes around the whole thing. And just adds, this is why I chose this ribbon, to pull out this color here and here. But that just kind of keeps it a little more solid. It reminds me of a Jacob's Ladder. Is that toy, wooden toy? So I've done, well, you've seen this, maybe you've seen this, but like I said, I used some of the passports folded in half just as a journaling spot. Some of the tickets are just journaling cards. This is a train schedule. I just folded it in half to use as a journaling card. And I like the contrast with the dark against the neutral. Again, that's some piece I cut from that long blue ticket. This is a belly band that also flips open for journaling space. So behind the belly band, we have another little passport. And this one, I actually added a photo inside in a background page. But see, you could even cut this little mini photo out of that piece of ephemera and use it somewhere. So this was some sort of advertising, so I folded that in half to make it like a flip or an open, and then just glued the top and bottom of just the right side to make the belly band. And then I added this as a tab. These are just photos. I could add some more here. And then this is already, the paper is already a collage, so it doesn't require any decorating on the back. Maybe that's why I printed that page there, was for the back. I'll try to remember. But yeah, it's darling. It's cute. Love it. So that's almost dry. It's not. Looks like I need a little bit more glue on this bottom. When I was working earlier today, one of my glue bottles split. So that's this guy right here. He split right there. You can't even really see it, but I'm gluing away and it starts spreading out on my finger. So that's why I buy a pack of 10, because they do eventually fail. But you can use them for quite a few months, I think. These little silicone things, eventually, from being put on and off all the time, they'll get holes or rips in them. So you can take this collar off. You could cut that if you just like that, but I like it so that I don't lose it. And it's also, because it's hanging there, reminds me usually to put my cap on my glue. Okay, since we're in this page right here, while we're just waiting for this side here to dry, I'm just going to go ahead and put a page on. So I need a middle right tab, center right tab. There we go. Now, I'm not going to ink right now, just in the interest of time, but you could ink these ahead of time or after. I kind of like after, because you might have some trimming to do, because nothing's ever square. Things aren't always exact. Even these cards aren't all exactly, they're somewhat the same, but it never fails. So what I would recommend is that you make sure your tab is covered and don't worry about the inside, because that's kind of hard to see. Oops, I did it again. I lifted that. Do as I say, not as I do. So that's your background page. So it is good to have some neutral background pages so that you can add your embellishments to it after, or your collaging. All right, well, I'm going to just help this along by adding the paper to it now, because, oh, I need a top left tab. There we go. Because this will hold the ribbon. The ribbon's it'll dry eventually, and I just want to move along, and this will actually help hold it in place. So not using a whole lot of glue, just because I'm using my precision bottle. But there, I would just start with the tab and then line up the rest. It's pretty as simple as that. So while you're working with it, it's going to be a little bit loose because we don't have that final ribbon on the outside yet. So just be a little careful that you're being a little gentle with it. So let's see, on the front, I recommend something kind of neutral because you do want to decorate the front. So I think I had selected these for the front. Yes. So like I said, the assembly of the cards itself, that's what takes the most time. And then decorating is pretty quick after. So making this kit, I love designing kits because what goes through my mind is, oh, I'm looking at all these vintage papers and you know, where did they travel to and how did they travel and was the travel enjoyable and how long did it take them, and you know, depending on the year, early 1900s, some of these, what was it by, did they go by ship, cruise ship, like a passenger ship, or did they go by train? Just very interesting. Lots of things to think about. I have never been, so let's talk about travel, since it's Travel Bug Journal. I've never been to, where have I never been? I've never been outside of North America. I've never left this continent. So I've never been to Europe or Asia, Australia, or anything like that. I've never been to the Caribbean. I've never been to the furthest south I've ever been. Let me see, all the south places I've been. I have been to New Orleans, I've been to California, and I've been to Florida. I drove through Texas, just with someone that was driving truck, as a passenger. I've never been to, in Canada, I've never been to the maritime provinces, like down east. I've been out west for work, but not for vacation. So I do a lot, most of my vacationing is Northern Ontario or Central North Ontario, not North Ontario. That's way too far. Driving to like way up north is the same distance as if I were to drive to Florida. So like Ontario's really long. So it's when you put it in perspective, it's, yeah. Well, now where'd I like to go? Where would I like to go? Caribbean? Maybe once. I don't know. It doesn't really appeal to me. maybe once. I know people that go every year. Cuba, Jamaica. They love their trips. But I have a hot tub, and that, to me, that investment is in place of vacationing money. And that's my staycation. And I use that almost every day. So morning, night, I really like a morning hot tub with a coffee. So where other people save for vacation, I save for a hot tub. We're just hot tub people. Maybe it's a Canadian thing, I don't know. Would I like Maritimes? Yes, most definitely. That was actually on our bucket list for retirement with my ex, and he has already gone on that trip with his new lady, so that burns a little bit. So anyways, yeah, it's still on my list to go to the Maritimes. Just have to make different plans now. So I'd like to go to Nova Scotia. I'd like to do it all. My daughter's family on her father's side is from Nova Scotia. There we go. I was born and raised here. Myself. What have we got going here? This way. I've been out, like I said, I've been out west, like British Columbia, but that was for work, so I really didn't get to see a lot. So I would like to go back for a vacation. I'd really like to do Alaska. I'd like to do one of those train rides. I would really like to go to like Switzerland, places like that someday. I don't know. I don't really have that travel bug like that. I want to like just go to far off places. You know, it's just not really it's just not my thing. Some people love travel and can't wait to travel, and they're all about travel. I have an aunt in her 80s who just went on a trip to Ireland and went to Iceland and all these places. Oh, see, I've got an overhang here because I didn't glue it down just right. So I'm just going to bend this backwards and trim this off so that it opens and closes, okay? She's a brave girl. She's a snowbird. She goes south all the time. But she just got back. She does trips like that. And just with like a prearranged group. She doesn't know anybody until she gets there. Or she might know somebody that's traveled before. But hats off to you people that do that solo traveling. I think that's amazing. But I guess I'm introverted that way. I'm not really about it, but okay, now I've lost my front. This was my front. There we go. So yeah, see how it needs to be trimmed because I definitely would recommend inking after. These are Martha Stewart scissors. I just watched that Martha Stewart documentary on Netflix. Somebody recommended it. A friend recommended it to me. Yeah, it's been an interesting time. So this is like mid-November. I do want to say I'm a little bit surprised, a little bit blown away at, so in the US you just had your election and quite a sweeping result. And obviously, you know, not everyone's happy. Obviously, it's countries divided, but that's quite a result. And what the part that doesn't really surprise me much, but what surprises me is even in our junk journal community, and I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm really surprised at the people that brought that into their into the junk journal community. And here I'm doing it, but I'm not condemning one side or the other. What I am condemning, though, is why is it okay to rip somebody for their political choices, their views, their, you know, their stance on things? Why is it okay? You wouldn't dare take that kind of a stand and unfollow, say, I'm unfollowing you. And you wouldn't do that about someone's sexual orientation. You wouldn't do that about somebody's religious choice. So what makes it right about doing it about politics? And political views. I just am not really. I learned my lesson quite a while ago. I had posted something political with my view, and actually I was just laughing at something, and I had people unfollow me and lambaste me, and I'm like, holy Dinah. Wouldn't dare do that about, you know, like I said, you wouldn't dare make comments like that, or I'm unfollowing you. Well, maybe some people would, I don't know, but in this day and age, I think we've come a long way, and I'm just really surprised at how bold some people are with their opinions about others' political views. So we're not going to do that on this channel. I don't care where your political views are, but I do care that you're being nasty to other people about their political views. That I don't agree with. So I will just say this right now. I won't be posting anything about political views, about choices one way or another, but I will certainly have no problem saying goodbye to anyone that harasses anyone else or threatens them with an unfollow. I will not have it on my channel. You're gone. There's no place, there's no room for that. Just the same as I wouldn't tolerate anybody having an opinion or saying something derogatory about someone's, like I said, who they love, or skin color, or religious views, anything. This is not the place for it. The junk journal community is really nice. Really, really nice. So I was really surprised to see some of that come out. Really surprised. Okay. Did I respond to any of those? No. Because I don't agree with it. I don't agree with, that would be me having an opinion about their political views, or it could be taken that way. But really, my only complaint is about you thinking it's okay to use this platform for your views and assuming that you're right about everybody else's choice. Clearly, there's different choices out there. So yeah, I can already tell this one's a little wide. But back to travel. Where do you like to travel? I know here in Ontario, I'm in southwestern Ontario, so I am just on the north shores of Lake Erie. So for me, I go north to travel to Ontario. Whereas people in like Toronto or something would come south maybe to vacation here because we're near Lake Erie. So we are a vacation destination where I live. So I'm already, oh, that was really awful, that one. I already am in a vacation area, so I'm already, that was terrible, Kathy. That's what happens when you're trying to craft and talk. I'm in, oh, and by the way, if you're upset with me for saying that I don't want you expressing your political views on my channel, I understand. But just letting you know this is not the right channel for you then. Okay? So enough about that. All right. Almost done. Okay, so clearly that's the back. I want it the same, kind of like this one. Yeah, so anyways, when we start driving up north, the furthest I have gone for vacation, well, I shouldn't say that. I've been to Moosonee as a child with my family. But my dad, my brother, my family, a couple other guys have a hunting camp up in a place called Chapleau. They actually just, it's up for sale right now because they've enjoyed it for a couple decades almost. Or over, was it 25 years? I forget how many years. And maybe longer. Maybe it's been almost, I can't even remember the year they started up there. But we've spent a number of summers up there. It's absolutely blissful. It's rocks, water, and trees. You've got the loons on the lake. You can't not catch a fish. It's clean air. It's just gorgeous up there. It's very peaceful, but it is a super long drive. It's like an 11-hour drive. So the drive itself is, you could make it into a road trip, or we would often just drive through the night just to get the most out of our time off when you're limited, like with your vacation. So that, yes, so this guy is the wrong way, wrong direction. So I need one more. Oh, that's what I wanted. I wanted to do this on the outside. That's okay. We'll do it here. So I need one of these this way. So you can do this one of two ways. You can put this on top and trace around, or you can put it behind and flip it over and trace around. Up to you. It's a little easier to see on the back. So I think I'm going to do this. Try to get this in there. So yeah, I love traveling in where I'm from, Ontario. There's so much to see and do here. And I love day trips. I love weekend trips. I have been to some neat places like Point Pelee, and last year before I went to, I guess it was last year, Meaford, to help a friend with a show she was doing during their Apple Fest. That's a nice little area there. The Kincardine area, Georgian Bay, gorgeous. Beautiful sunsets out that way. A couple things on my bucket list would be Prince Edward County. Not Prince Edward Island, but Prince Edward County. I'd like to go that direction. Yeah, there's lots of places in Ontario I would like to get to that I haven't been yet. We have some beautiful spa places to go to. Of course, I've been to Niagara Falls a bazillion times. That's a fun weekend. You can do a lot in a weekend at Niagara Falls. That's a really great weekend. Niagara on the Lake. Went to stay at the Prince Edward. No, not Prince Edward. Prince of Wales Hotel with my mom. That was a nice vacation. Nice weekend. There we go. So it's all covered up. And then I would go through and trim. And then decorate. Oh, we missed a couple pages. Kathy. There we go. So it looks like I'm going to need to cut one more. But anyways, that's how you make the base. So I'm going to leave you to it to decorate the, let's decorate the front so I could put that last little bit of ribbon on. I'll go back and do that other page another time and add that stuff. But let's decide what we're going to do on the front. So I like some sort of a passport looking thing. Oops, that's upside down. I do like this. I like that to frame. Almost looks like a sun behind. It's a different shape. I like to have different shapes. There we go. And then kind of, this one's smaller than this one, but you can see that's the same size, but I kept some of the edge of some of this with it. So we'll ink these because I'm going to glue them down. Lately, I've been addicted to watching van life videos on YouTube. Watching people, especially women, I think they're quite brave. I think it's wonderful. I think I'll do my edges, the corners, I mean. That's pretty amazing to see. I like the no build van tours. And then meeting up. I mean, it's probably more popular in the US because of your weather, like in the warmer climates, but they do it here too. So we'll do that. Then I've got room, see this space here on him? I've got that room to put the ribbon there. So I like that. On the other one I use, this one's a little bigger. I kind of like that. Let's do this one. And it says passport right on it, so that's kind of neat. So this is, everything is from the kit. All right, so let's start with that. Glue this down. So yeah, in the comments, I love reading the comments after videos. Like I said, I'm still pretty new to this, so I'm learning, and I haven't figured out all the YouTube finagle dangles yet, but I am really enjoying the comments. Like, I get some great ideas from people and great feedback, and get to hear where everybody's from. So now I'd like to hear, where do you like to travel? What was your best vacation? Where's somewhere you would never go back to? And especially if you're from Ontario, tell me some of your favorite travel destinations in Ontario. I don't care how far. I've always said it would be ideal to have a cottage within 6 hours of your home, because you could leave early. Say you could have your week-long vacations there and such, but even if you wanted to just go up, say, for Thanksgiving weekend, you could leave on a Saturday morning early and be there by afternoon and have the rest of the day Saturday, all day Sunday, leave Sunday night. Especially if it was a long weekend, like like a Thanksgiving weekend, and then you can travel back on Monday. I know the traffic can be kind of wonked, but hey, that depends on which direction you're going. So like if I was going, oh, I'm making a mess of this. I'm trying to trim that off and I'm making a mess. From here, if I was heading more east, oh, St. Clair Lake, that was a beautiful lake. Mind you, I did get have an anxiety attack in the middle of the lake, but I'm not very good on water. Lake Kincardine, gorgeous, absolutely stunning. Beautiful, beautiful. Those sunsets are just amazing. Amazing. Some of the best. Okay, there. Okay, my friend, what else are we doing with you? So I'm going to be putting the little bit of ribbon here. So let's add some of the blue. So let's just make this a little bit. Let's go this way. I'll keep that line on it and I'll just trim some of the extra blue off. This ticket and this kit is one of the most versatile things in there. I've used it 900 different ways. Okay. Oh, let's just do that. And then I need a little bit more ribbon, right? So let's get a nice, if you can, Kathy, straight edge. And I'm probably going to want it about there and then go back about that far. So I'll measure this and let you know. So that's what, just say 2¼ inches long, 2½ inches long. And then this, I'll actually glue the ribbon ends. You don't want glue on the middle. And we'll put that there. Whoop. And so once you get this all straightened out how you want it, just wrap that around. Yeah. So that's about it, folks. So now I can go in and add the pockets and the tags and the flip outs and the using all these little pieces of ephemera like this and adding like the little passport booklets. You can of course make a side pocket. You can, and don't forget to use the ephemera, because if you own a digital kit, you own it, and then you can print it as many times as you want, or print just one page over and over. But like this, you could just cut that out and use it in the as a piece of ephemera or an embellishment. Here you could just cut Stanley's name, like just, actually let's just do that just to show you. You don't need to use everything as it's presented. You can change it up a little, tweak it. But yeah, so this travel bug kit, I don't really have a travel bug to go anywhere crazy other than maybe that's too many lines. Yeah, because there's already a signature there. Okay, I won't do that to you, but I'll use that somewhere. Yeah, that's it. That's how you do it. So like I said, if anybody is traveling in Ontario and you know some great spots to go, I have a kit called it's 100 pieces of ephemera. It's called Cottage Country, and it's of this era, and it's when folks used to travel, and they still do, but when the Muskokas in Ontario were so popular for travel, and all the different advertising and the routes, and then of course there's bunch of pictures of, you know, like people canoeing and fishing and swimming. So they're old swimming trunks, and it's a really neat kit, but it definitely reminds me of the north where I like to go. So I love that ephemera kit. So if you're looking for something like that, it's called Cottage Country, and it's 100 pieces of ephemera. Actually, I think there's over 100. But that might accompany this travel bug kit really nicely if you're looking to do a full journal. And then this kit also has vintage photos, like that's a shipping dock, and then here's a train station. And of course there's all kinds of travel related, like here's your luggage, travel related ephemera, and of course the passport photos, train signs, station. But yeah, there's some really great photos in here too. So that's called Travel Bug. And thank you for watching. I hope that helps. I know the reels aren't always the best place to. Reels to me are for entertainment. And if you can pick up on something I did quickly in 30 seconds to a minute, that's wonderful. But I wouldn't expect that all the time. So that you're able to pick up something from a reel. So that's why I'm happy to be here on YouTube now and be retired and have more time, so that I can do that and show you in more detail how to make things. So anyways, I'm not an expert at this. This is just me trying to wing it and figure it out myself, using, you know, looking around at what I have now that I have more time to realize what I have in my craft room, and how can I, you know, what can I do with this, what can I do with that. And of course, while I'm crafting, I usually have YouTube playing of craft videos, so I get inspired by other creators. So if there's something you'd like to see me demonstrate that I have done in a reel that you'd like me to demonstrate in real time, haha, let me know and I will see what I can do. I'm trying to do the things that I've done recently. I'm trying to keep up with the YouTube videos. Yeah, so I'm just going to keep working on this. And if you make one of these, tag me. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see your take on it. I'd love to see this made with something else other than the travel bug. You know, maybe, I don't know, whatever other themes that come up. But I just thought this really lent itself well to the passport size, so for that kit. All right, well, thank you so much, and I will see you. I look forward to reading your comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.